Bugatti will bring their new supercar with a naturally aspirated V16 engine. In this video we will take a closer look at why are they making this change and what can we expect of their Chiron successor. First of all, why does Bugatti have 16 cylinders? The CEO of VW in the 1990s was Ferdinand Piëch, grandson of Ferdinand Porsche. His grandfather was the technical director of Mercedes in the 1920s and worked on supercharged straight six-cylinder engines. To get to another power level and also to get smoother engines, Horch and Mercedes, the two luxury brands in Germany at that time, built straight 8-cylinder engines. So later, when the new 750 kg formula for Grand Prix race cars was introduced, Mercedes used a supercharged straight 8-cylinder engine. And Porsche, who founded his own design office in the meantime, created a mid-engined race car for Auto Union with a supercharged straight 8-cylinder engine. But to have even more combustion chambers on roughly the same length, he put a second bank on, which made it a V16 engine with one crankshaft. Bugatti also created a 16-cylinder at the time, but these were two separate straight 8-cylinders with two connected crankshafts. So these legendary Auto Union race cars were mid-engined, had 16 cylinders, were supercharged and reached close to 400 km per hour during a race, and more than 430 km per hour during record runs. And these were his grandson's development targets for the Bugatti Veyron. But a V16 engine is very long. VW tried to get more than 4 cylinders in the Golf Mark III at that time, and they created the VR6 engines. So a 6-cylinder engine with the length of a 4-cylinder engine. Based on this principle, they designed the W8 engine for the Passat, and that was the role model for the W16 engine. So it's two VR8 engines together. So it was a huge task for VW in Wolfsburg to develop the Veyron, and it got delayed multiple times. In the end, the car came on the market in 2005, 3 years later than planned, but it was worth it. The Veyron brought the supercar market to a new level and raised the bar significantly. Later, when Piëch was not CEO anymore, Bugatti brought the Chiron, but the car underneath was essentially the same as the Veyron. So now that Bugatti sold the car for almost 20 years in a lot of special versions and Piëch is no longer with us, VW wanted to get rid of Bugatti as they didn't want to spend the money on updating the concept. Electric pioneer Mate Rimac took over and they are now working on a Chiron successor. First of all, Bugattis are no longer designed in Wolfsburg. They are now on their own. The old W16 quad-turbo engine is very capable, but also very heavy, and supercars have to be able to drive at least smaller distances fully electric. So on the dyno, they need less fuel and produce less emissions. Rimac is an expert for electric drivetrains and supplies parts for cars like the Valkyrie or Koenigsegg. The old Bugatti Veyron had the same packaging concept like the Lamborghini V12 coupés, and now Lamborghini and Bugatti changed them to the same hybrid packaging. Check out my other video for more on this. So, the battery, which is oil-cooled like the Koenigsegg Regera battery that Rimac supplies, sits in the middle. It has a massive 24.8 kWh capacity, and the fact that it's oil-cooled means that oil can directly flow around the cells, which means better heat transfer. They then wanted to keep 16 cylinders with an output of 1000 horsepower. So where do you go if you need such an engine? Exactly, you go to Cosworth in England, because they just developed the 4-litre V12 T50 engine and the 6.5-litre V12 engine for the Valkyrie. So Bugatti went to Cosworth, they added 4 cylinders, kept around the same volume per cylinder like the Valkyrie engine, and it was easy to reach the 1000 horsepower. And they could even reduce it to only 9000 RPM, because the Valkyrie engine already had 1000 horsepower with 12 cylinders and 11,000 RPM. V16 engines usually have a bank angle of 45 degrees, but Cosworth shows 90 degrees, so a much more common angle for V6, V8 and V10 engines. And because it's double the ideal angle, you can still get a smooth running engine from that. So with that, they created a 1 meter long engine. So it's very likely that they position the differential first and then the gearbox, to not extend the wheelbase too much. Lamborghini uses a lateral gearbox to keep the drivetrain short, but Bugatti now talks about a 2 meter long drivetrain, so it's likely they use a longitudinal gearbox. Bugatti says it's an 8-speed dual clutch gearbox. So the drivetrain is long, but slim, which allows them to have two large diffuser tunnels. And Bugatti claims that they produce so much downforce that they won't need an active wing anymore. Then, also very similar to the Lambo, Bugatti uses two electric motors at the front and one at the gearbox. Each one has 250 kW. The two at the front can recuperate more energy, can provide torque vectoring, and can drive the car alone in electric mode. The one at the gearbox can drive the rear axle, but potentially also work as a starter and generator for the engine. So overall, the new Bugatti will have 1,800 horsepower combined, a top speed of 445 km per hour, 60 km electric range, and should weigh less than 2 tons. Bugatti wants to produce 250 of them, and if we are looking at the shape of the new car, we can see that it still has the C-shaped sideline with intakes like the Chiron, but a less round shape. It looks like the rear axle is a bit further behind, and we already see parts of the LED headlights. So the new Bugatti is a logical next evolution with a very similar packaging to the Lamborghini Revuelto. Just the sheer fact that someone would design, build and sell a naturally aspirated V16 engine again is great news for all us tech freaks. So how do you like the new Bugatti concept? Let me know in the comments below and check out my other videos for more.